Hi, everybody. Welcome. Welcome to Full Sail. Oh, my goodness, we've got some activity going on. We've got a few people in here. It sounds like we've got a little bit of background noise. Fahim, I'm going to have to mute you because there's a little bit of noise going on. We are recording this session. You can also self-mute yourself in here. For those of you that are new to online learning, this is one of the ways that you can connect with both your classmates from all over the country and your instructor and not having to be in a brick and mortar building. So it's a really cool way to connect. If you're watching at home, we're really sorry that you weren't able to join us tonight, but we would like you to participate in the word puzzle. So at the bottom of the activity where you found this video, just go ahead and type if you found this in the messages area, if you found it in the activity, and wherever you found it, just type the question words that you would think would be part of your 2018. All right, so we're going to go ahead and get started. I'd love to introduce myself to you guys, and we're going to kind of find out who you guys are. I do want to inform you of how I'm going to mute everybody right now because we're getting a lot of feedback going on. I will turn the microphones on in just a second. We want to make sure we get that clear recording. I wanted to explain to you guys that there's multiple sections of students here. I teach creative presentation, and everyone in this room tonight is taking creative presentations, but you might not be in the same section. And of course, you're definitely probably not in the same degree program. We want you guys to have the same opportunities that the campus students have to network with people in your own degree programs, in other degree programs, and we'll talk a little bit more about why that's important later. But just letting you know that you may meet people in this room that you may try to go find in your own section or talk to on the discussion boards, and you might not run across them. So this is a great place to come together, and by the end of the month, you'll have some new friends, some new contacts, and we'll make sure that we're all networking together there. Wanted to remind you that we are going to have weekly get-togethers like this. I hold them on Tuesday nights, 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. You should have found the link. There was a catalog there. You can go ahead and register for all of them. I get questions like, well, if I'm not going to be able to make the live session, do I still need to register for it? No, you don't. You don't have to register for it if you don't want to. But if you think that there's a chance that you might, then go ahead and then you'll have the link. And if it happens that you can join us, you can just click on that link to join us from the email address. Also, the recordings, I send them out as messages to you guys, and I also post them in the same area, the first activity in each weekly section, so you guys can find them in case you need to watch part of it again, just to make sure everyone's clear and on the same page. So you're probably like, and I know we've got some new people that have come in, and there is a chat box. Unfortunately, those of you watching the recording at home, you can't see the chat box, but the chat box is a really cool way for us also to connect if we don't have microphones or we want to talk among ourselves. So if you're in the room right now, check out your chat box. The place where you type your message, there is a drop down, and right now it defaults to all entire audience. And if you want everyone, when you type something, everyone in the room is going to be able to see it. If you want to ask a question, you may be like a little shy about it, and you're like, oh, I don't want to ask this in front of everybody else. You can choose organizer only, and that's me. And then that will be that just you and I can have that private conversation. You guys can also talk among yourselves. So yes, I'm seeing your test. Christian, I got yours. Gelmer, I got yours. So everyone's looking good with the ability to use the chat box. That's awesome. But with these private messages, they are only between you and the person that you see it. So not even I can see it. So that's just kind of letting you know that that's going on. Who am I? Who is this person talking to you? Who is going to be your guide through the first month here at Full Sail? You can call me Mrs. Wilson. My name is Suzanne Wilson. You can call me whatever you like. Most people call me Mrs. Wilson. My husband gets that Mr. Wilson, Dennis the Menace all the time. So feel free to call me whatever you feel like. But most people call me Mrs. Wilson. So whatever is up to you. It's very nice to meet you too, Miguel. All right. So who is this person? Why is she talking? Why is she talking like she's got her nose plugged? And that's because I have a cold. I'm not sure that my Southern accent is going to come through, but I will definitely try to get that in there. I am a Alabama graduate. I have a bachelor's degree in communication education that specializes in advertising. Okay, great. You can hear it a little bit. Yes, so University of Georgia, congratulations. Looking forward to seeing you next week there, Andrew. So it's been a really crazy bit of football. I know there may not be a lot of football fans here, but I am definitely a Roll Tide. Anyway, I digress. I am a bit of a squirrel. I will jump off into different directions, so I will try to stay focused for you guys tonight. Like I said, I had a degree in advertising, and I graduated right when those M&M commercials started coming out. Those really cool 3D computer animated M&Ms, and I thought, oh my God, I just really want to learn how to do that. So I moved down to Florida. I was up in Alabama, and I moved down, and I went to school at Full Sail when the logo looked like this. So I'm dating myself a little bit, but I was in the second class of graphic design, and it's just really blown up now. It's so specialized that you can get really down and dirty with it. So it's just really grown, and I actually have gone back to school again. And 3 years ago, I completed my master's here at Full Sail in their online program for instructional design. So I still do a little bit of that because I think it's cool to kind of mix together the media and the images and all that stuff to make learning more fun. So I'm just thrilled to have these kind of tools to talk to you guys and have this online learning. We can also talk this way one-on-one. We can talk on the phone, all that kind of stuff. So we're definitely going to get you connected, even though you guys are way out in Timbuktu sometimes. I want you guys to feel and get the real experience. So talking about experience, well, what do you do? You're going to come across a lot of instructors at Full Sail that either currently still work in the industry or have worked in the industry. It's one of the, I think it attracts the people that wants to work here. I know that's why I wanted to work here. But first, after I graduated, I went, I told you I was in that second graphic design class. I went out and worked for 13 years in the music industry business, and I went out and worked in marketing for promo only. It's a CD. It started with CDs. It went, it started with vinyl, and then it went when CDs came in and DVDs and digital. And it's just, I kind of went through the whole changing of the guard there. And it's a promotional company that worked with record labels. So I've got a lot of experience, and I know a lot of DJs. I know a lot of music people. So that's kind of where my background came in, mixed with my graphic stuff. So that's why I'm still cool about the creative industry, and that I really like being involved in it. A little personal note, I don't have any children, but I do have 2 fur babies. And so that's Miss Lucy there on the right. She is my flying squirrel. And I tell you about this time because sometimes they participate. Tonight they're passed out. It's really cold here, and everyone's just kind of snuggled in. And but sometimes they'll participate. So that is Max and Lucy. And curious to see you guys. Does anybody out there, do you guys have pets? If you have a pet, tell me in the chat box. Do you have a dog, cat? What are their names? Lizards? What do you got? Let's see if anybody's out there. Okay, so Stacy has a dog named Goose. A Pomeranian Chihuahua. Oh my gosh, we got Sphinx and Petey, 2 dogs, a beautiful husky. Garamore, I'm sorry, having trouble pronouncing that. 4 cats, but the doggy just crossed that rainbow bridge in October. I'm so sorry for your loss there. And 6 Shih Tzus. Oh my gosh. That is awesome. We also have Scout, the Chihuahua mount, and that's awesome. And that's okay. Jasmine is great. She's no pets, nobody to tie down, so that's awesome. 2 Cane Corso puppies. I'm not sure what that is. I'm gonna write that down so we can figure out what that is later. Cane Corso. Okay, I've got a pit bull in the house. There we go. Weenie dogs, and that's okay. No problem, Stacy. We've got kids. So awesome. So you all know that you've got people have responsibilities. It could be children, it could be pets, and we totally understand. So another question that I get a lot is, okay, where are you guys? So the instructors at Full Sail, has anybody, if you just put me a yes or no in the chat box real quick, have you ever been to the Full Sail campus? Yes or no? So a lot of no's. Okay. Well, if you have a few yeses, okay, that's awesome. So Full Sail is it's a really funky place. It's depending on what building you are, what it looks like. This building is where most of the instructors are. In this part right here, this is part of a huge building, and it looks like an IKEA store. If you've ever been in there, it's very clean and it's very like modular furniture, and that's where my office is. But what's really cool about Full Sail is that they allow us to also work from our home offices, so we can, like, I'm not having to be up at school right now, and I can still interact with you guys on all different time zones. So if you guys ever do get the chance, this is where my building is. Please, let me know you're coming, and I'd love to meet you. And that could be in the future too as well. So how do you guys find me, right? It was like, well, I don't, how do I talk to my teacher? How do I connect with her? So Monday and Tuesdays are the days that I work from my home office. So it's really best to message me to schedule a call. We can talk as long as you want. It'll just be more effective for us to figure out what time zone we're both on, what time would be a good time to talk. It's really kind of hard to just catch somebody on the phone. But it's if we'll make appointments, I'll do it anytime. I'm a night person. I have a second job where I teach line dancing in a club, so I know I am up late sometimes too. So Skylar says, will there ever be days that you wouldn't be able to respond to a message? Skylar, that is a very good question. I do try to have my down times on Saturday and Sunday. So I do try to take my weekends off just for my mental health. But again, if I see one and it's something that I can quickly answer, then you might see an answer from me, but I prefer it if you guys can get with me at the beginning of the week. And it really is possible. I know that you'll run into some things, but if you will take a look at your assignments at the beginning of the week and don't wait till Saturday to even start on your homework, then that's going to put you in a better situation anyway. I do realize that it is online learning and that a lot of you have families. Like Gilmer says, they're 40+ hour job. I know there's probably some of you that not only your job, but your home life is a job too, and I totally understand that. And so you got to get on that time management. You got to figure it out. And, if I'm up and I see it and I'm typing, I'll go with you. Tuesdays are my late nights. Like, I don't even come on the clock until 11 a.m. in the morning, so I can be online till 11 o'clock at night on Tuesdays. So Tuesday late nights, you might want to make a note for that. That's really good. Otherwise, I'll catch you first thing in the morning. But I don't let it go to Monday. Oh, anytime. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday is the best day to message. Christian, if you want to call me, you can call me on campus on Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday. If you call the campus on Monday, I don't get in there until Wednesday, so I wouldn't get a voicemail. That's why I'm just kind of a big proponent of messaging me and say, hey, I need to talk to you. And that makes me go, okay, let's talk. But if you just call and leave a message, there's a chance that I might not get it. So I just really, I'll give you my phone number and we can text, we can do whatever. But I'm a mobile person. I move around a lot. So messaging me is awesome. Anytime you message me, I get a notice on my phone and I go right to it. So that's like the next slide there. I have message me. It's so easy to do, right? So all you have to do is, and I'll message you back. If you look up yes, I'm talking about the Full Sail messaging. Exactly. In Full Sail, we have messaging, and you can look up at the top right. If that little orange dot's going, that means there is something you haven't read. It could be a reply message to you. It could be a brand new message from me. It could be a grade or a feedback, and there's a way to help you with that. So like what I do is I manage my account. So anytime that I get a message from you guys, so now mine's going to look a little bit different because I have more options, but there's a section in there where you can say, okay, send me an email when I receive a new message or a feedback, or maybe a student submits something late. And then I'll know to go back and take that 0 off and, give them some credit with a late fee, of course. But it will help you. And then you can set it up on your phone for your email to notify you on your phone. Unfortunately, right now, we don't have the ability to have FSO send you a text when you have a new message, but it will send you an email. So make sure that you get your Full Sail student email up on your phone, and then that will help you. So I hope that you guys will take advantage of that. But once we connect the first time and I feel comfortable with you, then I'll probably just give you my cell phone number and we can text from there. But I want you to, you're supposed to do it this way. So I want you guys to get in the habit of it moving forward, because some Full Sail instructors might not give you their personal cell phone numbers. So I don't want you to get too attached to that. So another thing that you can do to also get us connected is to don't be Mr. Shadowhead, right? So get a picture up there. There is an approval list that you have to get through. This is a different picture from the Connect website. Connect is like more the social part of Full Sail, where you guys, we'll show you that in just a second, but I mean, it's like where you can see there's a feed, and it looks a little bit like a fancy Facebook to me, and it tells you articles about the school and ways you to get, access to different departments and things like that. But that's Connect. On the actual course area, it's a different area, and you have to have a different picture. So they won't let you have sunglasses on. You're not supposed to have a hat, I don't think, but I've seen some people have a hat. So as long as the hat's like Paris up there, as long as you can still see his face, you can get a picture up there. If you're having any problems, like it says, hey, your file's too big and you don't have any way to make the file smaller, send me a message and attach the picture that they're not taking, and I'll make it smaller for you and send it back to you. So please try to get a picture up there. I think it's a great way for you guys. Remember, I talked about networking. You should really be connecting with each other. Remember, if you guys have a question, pop it in the box for me. Now, I do want to hear from you guys. Now, you guys, when you start Full Sail, we're the very first class, and so everybody's coming to the table with different things. Some people have really fancy computers. Some people are doing stuff on a tablet or a cell phone. So, and it's totally fine. Whatever you're using, we're going to get you through it. So, if you are using a mobile device and you don't have a computer, things may be a little bit more challenging for you, but we're going to help you get through that. There is online storage that you guys have. It's called OneDrive. You can actually create your work up there and then submit it to your course area directly from the app. There are step-by-step instructions that the Full Sail support has. They're also located, if you haven't been in assignment 1.4, I think it is, because you guys also get access to that Microsoft Office, Word and Excel and PowerPoint, things like that, and you can get that on your phone. So if you're using a phone to do your work, please stay connected with me if you run into any problems getting your homework done. Okay? Can everybody give me a yes or a no? Yes, you got it? All right, very cool. If you feel like you're like, uh-oh, I don't know, if you have a flip phone, I'm not sure it's going to work. You got to have a smartphone. But as long as you got a smartphone, you should be okay. All right, that's enough about me and that part of it. I want to know who is here. So if you guys will pop it in the chat box, tell me what state you're from, just or where you're from. So we got Texas in the house, East Coast Georgia, couple Floridas, New Jersey, Pennsylvania, Albuquerque, New Mexico, Washington, D.C. Oh, heard it's cold there. Minnesota, California, Austin, the Dirty Mid. Oh, my goodness. Sarasota, Florida, Orlando. Okay, so we got a couple locals. Virginia 804. Okay, so, excuse me, Christian is currently in Arizona, but originally from Illinois. So very cool. All right, so let's see. I'm going to just real quick, I'm going to turn the mics back on. So warning, warning, warning. We're going to turn the mics back on. And you can mute yourself if you want to. Okay, so Corliss, are you out there? Corliss, thank you very much. And if I butcher your name, please tell me. So Corliss, where are you from, and what degree are you studying here?
I'm from Michigan, and I'm studying audio engineering.
Okay, very cool. How is it cold there?
It's extra cold.
Extra cold. All right. Oh my gosh. All right. Now I know I'm going to butcher this one. So, Guillermo, Mr. Malpartida, help me.
It's pretty much it's pronounced Guillermo, but
Guillermo.
most of my
okay. So yeah. I silent the L's. Guillermo.
For the most part, yeah, it's pretty much stay silent.
Okay. All right, tell me about yourself.
Let's see. 42, living over in New Jersey. Been doing desktop analyst support for about 17 years in the medical field. Started picking up a pen last year when when I tested out the Surface for a girlfriend and picked up an iPad out of
Okay.
the blue and just started drawing and all of a sudden people started noticing. So I said, all right, I'll just give it a shot.
Okay.
And because I needed a change because I'm not going to get anywhere farther in my field, and I'm like, I need something better to do, and I like being creative because that's how I usually work in my job, and I'm taking up computer animation because I figured it'd be the most fun thing to try.
I love it. Oh my goodness. Well, Guillermo, you are in a creative bunch. Isaac, tell me about yourself. Where are you from and what are you here for?
I am from Lubbock, Texas. I am a electrician and illusionist down here.
Nice. And
Um,
in here at Full Sail.
okay, so I've been playing music, gosh, since I was 5. My parents kind of had me in lessons and whatnot, and I'm studying for a bachelor's of science in music production.
Music production. Fabulous.
Yeah, it's what I'm passionate about, and I've been working for the past couple years, just kind of making money, and I just wanted to love what I do, so I came to Full Sail.
I love it. I love it. That's a common theme. So you're in good company. All right, Margaret, tell me where are you from and what are you here for at Full Sail?
Um, I don't know. Can you hear me?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Okay. Sorry, I wasn't sure because I don't have a mic. But I'm majoring in creative writing, and I'm going for my bachelor's.
Okay.
Yeah.
Awesome. Creative writer. That means that Margaret is going to blow us away on the discussion boards. I can't wait. Oh my goodness.
Awesome.
Awesome.
All right, Tyler, where are you coming from? Skylar, you out there?
Yeah, sorry.
Where you?
I'm from
Where are you?
I'm from California, and I'm going for my bachelor's in game art.
Okay, cool. Well, we will definitely be exploring all the whys and everything behind it. Just want to make sure everybody's getting their chance to make sure their mics work. Stacy, how about you?
Oh, I am from Florida and Sarasota. Been here my whole life, and I'm going for my bachelor's in internet marketing.
Oh, excellent. Excellent, Stacy. We also got a lot of people that are in the chat box tonight, and that happens sometimes because either we don't have microphones yet or maybe we're in a noisy environment. So just want to kind of shout out to this, everybody. This also helps people connect with others. So Adam is in music production, so is Jasmine. Miguel and Kyra, and my gosh, there's a lot. Andrew. Very good. So, you guys, if you're watching the recording and you want to reach out with some other people, please let us know. All right. So I think I went through all the microphones that I saw. If I didn't get you, speak up. All right. Team audio production. I like that. We should definitely have a team. That's awesome. All right, so you guys are more than welcome to keep the conversations going. They do not bother me at all. I do want to know, it is important that we all know what time zone we're in, and you would be surprised that not everybody knows. So if you could just put it in the chat box for me, just so you know where you are, where you're going to be doing most of your schoolwork. I know some of you guys travel a lot, but it's very important to know this. We also are going to be examining what purpose, why we're here. And we talked about some of the degree programs that we're in. There's quite a few that are here at Full Sail. Some of them are only on campus, but there's a lot that are online as well. So this is just kind of an overview of the ones that we do. And I talked a little bit earlier about networking, and I was wondering, Jasmine, we'll get to that. We'll get to that. So great question about the time zone. So we'll definitely get to that. I've got a question for you guys, though, about networking. Why do you think it would be important? Let's see. I'm going to, let's see. How about Daryl? Are you out there?
Yes.
Okay, Daryl. So remind me, what is your degree program?
Audio engineering, going for a bachelor's.
An audio engineer.
Yes.
Okay, so Margaret is in the class, and this is going to be a little bit of a challenging one, I guess, but Margaret is in creative writing. Why do you think it might be important for you as an audio person to network with Margaret, who is a creative writer? What would you, if someone asked you that, what would you say?
Multiple reasons. She's a creative writer. She might be into writing for TV or movies. I can do the same for that.
Yes.
Or anything, things along that nature.
Absolutely. What else goes with music?
Writing for music itself, writing
Right.
in general, because also
Lyrics.
Yeah, for sure. So that's a great matchup. So you can see, I mean, you can take almost any degree program and you can see why cross networking is also a really cool thing to do, because if you only network in the same field that you're in, then that's great, but if you're all going out for, you all want to work at a certain company, or, there's going to be limited positions at different places. And when something comes up, it's probably going to be in a different department. And you might be like, oh, I remember this girl, Margaret. She is awesome. She is so nice on the discussion boards. And she is such a great writer. And we've bonded and we've been buddies, we've been study buddies for, the whole time. She joined Team Audio Production, even though she's not in audio production. She's just better than sliced bread, and you should hire her. So you just never know. Excuse me. If you think about, I don't know about y'all, but like my opportunity to come to Full Sail was because of someone I knew, and it's an opportunity that I'm just so glad that I made that relationship. And there's so many times I can look back in my life, and I hope you can too, realize that, it is a lot of what you know, but it's also who you know and who knows what you want to do. So it's real important to network, and I hope that you guys will take advantage of that. You guys are going to be together for just a little while, and then you're going to split off into the different degree programs where you're getting more specialized. So you might be in the same classes with some people. It's awesome. You have a very limited time, but I've seen some really cool relationships built in this short amount of time. All right, I'm going to keep moving because I do have a lot more to cover, and I do want to go over the assignments that you guys are going to be doing this week to make sure you guys are going in the right direction. I just want to mention some high level things here. If you have a learning difference, then you probably know that you have a learning difference, and that's okay. Full Sail is full of them. I know that I am a very visual learner, but there's can be learning difference that go, even stronger than that. So we do have a department. It's the success department. If you're not familiar about it, you want more information, please let me know. It can really help you work with the instructors for your success here at Full Sail. And just wanted you to know that resource is available to you. So if you have a learning difference, if you learn differently than others, we'll definitely do what we can to help you out. It's also very important, you are in a professional environment. One of the things that Full Sail is known for, if you go back and look at that old logo when I was there, it was actually used to be called Real World Education, because it really sets you up for how the industry works. The amount of time, the speed, everything that's going on, the creative, intellectual property, all that kind of stuff. It is like it is out there in the world. So you want to make sure that you are putting yourself up in a professional manner. Think about the assignments that you're creating. Think about it is a learning environment that you can stumble. We're okay with that. We want you to try your best to be professional. We want you to understand that you cannot be, you can't plagiarize. You got to know what academic dishonesty is. You can't copy things. You can't, go online and find something. You've got to stand out. You got to be unique. You got to treat each other with respect. You got to treat, that whole golden rule, right? Treat your instructors. You got to remember that everybody's human. If I miss something, like I say, hey, you didn't do this, so this is why you lost 15 points. And then you go back and you go, I did do that. well, what's going to be more professional to say, hey, Miss Wilson, I know you have a cold, and I was just wondering if you could look back at paragraph 3 because I'm pretty sure I did that, instead of, what the hell, man? Come on, I did it. It's kind of be like, whoa. So just think about that, how you would talk to someone in a professional environment, and just make sure that you're doing that. We feel that it's so important. We actually have a whole entire activity about it. And if you have already completed that activity, I've already written you back and given you your score for that. So make sure that you do that. It's in the very first section. We're also in college, you guys, right? We are in college. And even though AP style and all the fancy dancy, we're not in an English class, I am, just because I'm in advertising, that it drives me crazy if I see like an ad or I see a banner on a TV that something is misspelled. It drives me insane. So I will let you guys know that I'm a little OCD about, I want things, if you're going to refer to yourself, like you guys were up there, like, I'm proud of what I created. So like, if you guys look at Christian, not to pull Christian out, but Christian, you did a great job on the I created, but the very first one was a lowercase I. So we're referring to ourselves in our discussion boards. I want those to be capital letters. If we're just texting, if we're just going back and forth, I'm okay with it being a little bit, but anything that's going to be submitted for a grade, I'm also going to be looking at your punctuation, your spelling, your capitalization, those kind of things, because we're in college. All right. Now, any questions before we're going to go on to what the class is, how the class is structured, but do we have any questions moving forward from here? No problem, Christian. I was picking on you. No apologies necessary. But if you are going to be using your phone to do this, we do get used to it. And that's something to be aware of, like when we're sending important emails or important messages or blogs or things like that, we want to make sure, I see all these posts people are reacting to. I don't know, that guy, did you guys see that thing about the suicide forest this morning? I was just like, oh my gosh, it's terrible. But can you imagine if his response had stuff that was misspelled in it? It's even worse. So anyway, okay, I digress. Class structure, let's talk about this. I've got some really good news for you guys. Are you ready? Someone say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Really good news? More than one person. Yes. Yes.
Oh, hi.
All right, I'm gonna go, woohoo! Here we go.
Good.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. I just want some of those Hulk hands, don't you? I love those. So anyway, but okay, so what does that mean? What does that really mean? Well, that means that you have to show your learning in your assignments. We're very project-based learnings. We want you guys to apply what you are studying in what you're doing. And that is no problem, Connor. See you next time. No problem. We'll get the recording. Okay. So moving forward, we've got to show, there's reading assignments, and I can't, you're just clicking a button. Yep, I did it. So how am I going to know you did it? So you're going to be referencing things from your reading. You're going to be using, we're going to talk about a certain technique. Well, then we're going to actually do the technique. And that is going to be, that's the best way to take it with you. Learning by doing, So I'm so sorry. We're going to have assignments, projects, and discussions. All right, what else do we have? We have lectures, just like they do in campus. But we have them online. So they're here, and a lot of people will say, hey, do you take attendance in online learning? Well, it's kind of hard to do that. And, people have lives, and that's the beauty of online learning. So I always say, when someone asks me, is attendance required? I say, attendance is not required for your grade in this class, but it is required for your education, because how do you fully understand? I mean, I know that we all have critical thinking skills and we should be able to read something and then apply ourselves and do it. But, I want to make sure that you're taking away the things and you have the ability to communicate with a live person because you're in a learning environment. And when you don't do that, you're all on your own. You're on your side. And you may think that something, this is the way I interpret it, so that's the way that it's going to be. but you might need assistance with that. So I've got a let's see. Okay, so we've got a private question coming up. Sorry, I'm going to move on. And while they're writing that question, so attendance is not required, but we do want you to complete every activity. All right, so let's keep moving. You guys should see that we have these activity blocks. There was a really good question that was coming up, and it was talking about when things are due. Now, you guys are in a very, you're in a unique month to start, because today is actually the first day of class. And normally students have Monday to go through. So what we've done is we've kind of expanded the due date. So you guys are actually, you have until next Tuesday, which is January the 9th at 11:59 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So that means that there was a question that came up and said, hey, does that mean that if I'm in Central Time, does that mean that it's 10:59? And it does, because what happens is we're all on the same computer system. Even the campus students use the same online platform to submit their homework. So we have to have the computer to be able to close one assignment and open the next. So what happens is when 11:59 clicks into 12, it automatically makes you late if you have not uploaded your assignments. Some teachers will not even accept late assignments, or you'll have to reach out to them and say, hey, I missed the deadline. Mine, I let you put things in late, but there is a late penalty. So even if you get it up there as soon as you can, I'll have to say I'm pretty flexible. If it's in there before I get my first cup of coffee on Monday morning, I'm a lot, more understanding than if I hear from you like noon on Monday and go, oh, I had something happen and I don't know, the dog ate my homework and, so let's not get into that. So that's what happens. You need to make sure that you adjust your time zones. If you're in the mountain, if you're in the eastern, whatever, adjust your hours. You should adjust it in FSO, in your class area, and it'll tell you how many hours you have left, like how many days and hours you have left until an assignment is due. So make sure you do that. All right.
So what time zone are we going off of?
You are going now. What time zone are you in, Corliss?
I'm in Eastern.
You're in Eastern, so you're in our time zone. So you are you're in the same time zone that the campus is. So yours is due at 11:59.
Awesome.
So I may have said that wrong. It's Central is an hour behind us, and then the next one, and the next one, and the next one. So okay. Okay, Adam, I didn't get another question from you if you were trying to still send me it. Okay, a question. All right, so grades. Let's talk about grades. Let's see. Okay, so we have a question that's come up. It says, I have done several assignments, and is there a difference between completing the assignment and seeing a 100 in the circle rather than just seeing the box colored in? So if you have a 100 in the circle, that means that the assignment has already been graded. Now, if it was the professionalism one, I graded those right before I opened the room. If you have finished those, you need to go to that assignment, scroll down to the bottom, and see my feedback. Some activities auto grade, like if it's the reading assignment, or if it's like this, it's the live session and whatever, it just auto goes to 100. So if you see 100, that just means that it's already completed. You want to have a completely colored circle, though, because if you don't, that means perhaps you're missing some reply post or something's not right. The grades that you get in this class are percentage based. So you may have some grades that say 100 on them, like the person was asking, but if you go into the grade, it's 0%. Like, for example, the first one, 1.1, that's what we're in now. You don't get a grade. You don't get points just for coming here tonight. And the reading assignment, we don't give you points for that, because you're going to prove to us that you've done your reading and you're absorbing the material in the projects you do. And so it's only the projects and the discussion boards that have points that you earn toward your final grade. You'll see that discussion boards and assignments have different weighted, and what you do is like whatever grade you get. So if you got 100 on something and it was worth 20% of your grade, then you've earned, what is that, 5 points towards your final grade. 20% times 5 or whatever. I'm not good in math, so there's a calculator that does it for you. So it's 20% of your overall. No, that would give you 20. You get all 20 points. You get 100% of the 20 points. I'm on too much cold medicine. All right, anyway, let's keep moving. So you want to pay attention to the ones that are really heavily weighted. So how do you get graded? You're like, well, what is she going to grade me on? Well, at the bottom of every single activity, there are instruction files. There may be an additional handout that you need to use, or there could be, and there should be a rubric file. A rubric file will look something like this. It'll have a dimension, and then it'll have the different categories that you can score in and that you can get certain points. Okay, so what you're trying to do is hit that exemplary column. So for example, your contribution to learning there, it says you interacted freely and meaningful with multiple students, you tried to facilitate future group discussion. So if you do all of that, you're going to get the full 30 points for that particular dimension. Now again, these rubric files are located at the bottom of each activity. If you open in one and it looks like this, what that means is that you don't have the Adobe Reader. These are in PDF format. Hopefully you guys have heard of that before, Adobe Acrobat PDF. And if you don't have this particular plugin, you can get it for free. So if you go to this website, get.adobe.com/reader, you can get it for free. If it asks you for a credit card, you are in the wrong spot. It is just a plugin that will allow you to read them clearly. Okay. Miguel, I'm going to hold that question for later. If you will just copy it, you may have to type it to me again, but I will bring that up again. Okay. So what did I want to, let's see. Okay. Well, actually, I'll go ahead and answer it. I'm sorry. So a question says, had done previous presentations before, but did it on the phone, but went to the laptop and it hadn't finished any that they had completed. That does not seem normal, Miguel. So what we need to do is make sure that you get connected with FSO support. You might do another test on it again. Maybe, I don't know. That's not normal. So if that's happening to you, if you're using both devices, it should have gone through to complete your activities. And I'm going to show you guys how to get in touch with FSO support in just a second. You guys will also have feedback on all of your weighted assignments from me. Sometimes I do them on the non-weighted, but always on the weighted assignments. As I mentioned earlier, if you have completed the professionalism assignment, you have gotten feedback from me. Please use it as a test to make sure you can find it. If you'll just hit got it or thanks or whatever, sometimes I leave different kinds of feedback. So it's always important to check it. Like when you see a score, if your circle is no longer just a full circle that it's completed and it has a score in it, don't just accept that score. Go and look at your feedback. Even if you get 100 on it, you still need to look at your feedback because I might be warning you about something like, okay, it's your first time. It's gonna be okay. But next time I'm gonna bust you on it. So make sure that you read your feedback. Yep. Okay. Miguel got my feedback. So awesome. Very cool. Has anybody else checked feedback? All right. A few people have. If you haven't yet, you guys can go check that. Now, I was mentioning some important departments before, and the biggest one, I think, is the technical support. I want you guys to know that this is free. There's no limit to how many times you can call it. When I was a student here, I actually became good friends with a lot of them. I called them so much. It also documents your issue. So if you're having an issue, you need to call at the time that you're having it, because what's so awesome about this, they're open every day of the week. And if you are having an issue, call them. They are open 8 a.m. to 2 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, so they're up to. You can email them as well, but I will let you know that when you call, if you call on Sunday, if you start calling Sunday about 7 o'clock at night, that's what, maybe 4 hours before everybody's assignments are due. Because remember, most everybody's assignments are due on Sunday night. So it might get a little clogged and you might have to wait a little bit. But they are available 7 days a week. So how do you find them? You just go to the Connect site. Remember we talked about the Connect? Type in tech support and you can follow along. They have a fact card there. These are the things that they will help you with. If you can't reach your ebooks, if you can't get Resonate and Slideology, you're having a problem with it. If you're having problem installing your software. If you have problems with messaging or any kind of chat interfaces, anything about Macs or Windows, you guys are going to be getting launch boxes. And some of you guys may have never touched a Mac before. Well, they're here to help you with that stuff. If you can't log in, you forgot your password, just anything that's happening, it won't upload. It keeps giving you an error message. What can I do? The page won't load. I mean, there's all sorts of things. So you guys, please reach out to them because they are there to help you guys. And they support the Office software. So that's really cool. All right, so that is the technical support. They have a separate phone number, but we also have a Full Sail support team. So maybe there's something going on. You can't get a hold of me. You need to let a bunch of people know, you broke your foot. I hate that. I hate that might happen to you, but you broke your foot. You're going to the emergency room. I need to tell somebody. I've messaged my thing. I need some help. Or, I need to talk to my advisor. I don't know how to pay my bill. I don't know what's going on. So this support team will help you. It will also create a ticket in their system, and they're going to help us follow up with you. You guys will also be being contacted if you haven't yet. Probably not, because we're just back from vacation. But there are student liaisons, and these are your cheerleaders. They're going to go with you through every class. I'm only here with you for this first class, but they are here with you for the get-go. So please make sure you do this. There is a question that has popped up that says, hey, if I ever have to leave during a live class and I want to find the recording of a session later, tune in late. You can always jump in late. That is no problem. Use the active link that you get when you have registered in the email. That will get you in. But the recording of this is posted in the same activity where you registered for it. So in week 1, it's in 1.1. In week 2, it's in 2.1. In week 3, it's in 3.1, etc., etc. I also send out a class message because some of you guys just need to jump. Okay, I just need to know what she was talking about here. And so instead of having to watch the whole thing, I want to hear her talk about the assignments again. And so you can jump to those as well. So that will be in the messages area. Hopefully you guys are all checking your messages in your class area. So please definitely do that. But back to the student liaisons. If they've reached out to you, don't avoid your call. They're not wanting anything from there. They are your cheerleaders. They're very familiar with the first 4 classes that you're taking, and they can help you. And not help you like with your assignments, but they can, hey, did you make your post? Hey, did you make your project? Blah, blah, blah. So, so don't avoid their calls is all I'm really trying to tell you on that. You also have access to free software and tutorials. You can get these from the Connect website. You have a website called lynda.com. It's a great way to learn both hard skills and soft skills. If you want to know more about that, let me know. You guys also have access to Office 365. And it can be for Windows, Mac, phones, all those kind of things. So, so definitely check that out. Christian says that his dude's name is Chip. He seems really cool. I have overheard, like I've heard them talking to you guys, and they are cool. They know, like a lot of them have worked in the industries too, and they're definitely your cheerleaders. All right, cool. So, what are we here to do? We're at Full Sail. We are here to learn new things. So I highly, highly suggest pushing yourself out of your comfort zone. If all you've ever done a presentation is in PowerPoint, please jump off of that ledge. Let's try some new things. There are so many new free things out there that are so much more interactive and multimedia and more interesting than an old PowerPoint presentation. So get yourself out there. These are all the first six. The first six up there are absolutely free to use. Some of them have temporary times to use them, but I know my new favorite is Adobe Spark. And if you have not used it yet, you are going to fall in love with it. It is the coolest website. It is for free. It allows you to make movies. It allows you to make websites. It allows you to make reports. I've even had people do this new, the 1.4 assignment in it. You don't have to. A lot of people use Microsoft Word, but I've had people use it for there too. So if you haven't checked it out, please write that down. Adobe Spark. It's a great way to be able to combine your audio and your visuals together, which is something that we're going to be doing in this class. So creative presentation. You notice it is not called uncreative presentation. It is not called PowerPoint, death by PowerPoint. It is creative presentation. So what are we going to do? We are going to encourage you to throw everything out of the window that you guys have learned so far. I meet so many people. In high school, we didn't do it like this. In my high school, I was required to have 12 bullet points. And you're just like, okay, maybe if you're going to go to Harvard or you're going to go to a business school or something like that, I don't know. But we are in a creative school. Come on, people, show me what you got. So what are we going to do? We're going to learn. If you guys haven't started reading yet, you really need to, because we're talking about how to connect with our audiences. We're going to be telling stories about ourselves. We're going to create a video pitch of ourselves that is going to be so different than just giving someone a paper resume. We're going to try to make you be remembered. We're going to try to make you stand out. We're going to try to get you to explore why you're here, what it is that you're going to be learning, and actually ask someone to hire you. And it is all going to be imagination. We're all pretending. But remember what I said about project-based learning. We're putting what we're learning to use. And whether we actually use this one or not, probably not. You guys are just getting started. By the time you actually graduate, you're going to be so technically much taller than this that you're going to probably laugh. You're going to probably look back and laugh. But that's okay. I want you to take the techniques and the theories with you. So we're kind of branding ourselves, and we are reaching out to a future employer. We're going to pretend that we've already graduated, and we are going to, we'll talk about that. We're not to that point yet. This week, we are just going to be learning from other speakers, and we're going to kind of establish our own baseline of where we are. So don't, kind of be thinking about what you would want to do and who you would want to do it for. This is your chance to have some fun with that. But if you haven't started reading, I see some of you guys have. I'm excited that you guys are saying that you're really liking this first book. It is a cool book. This lady is a cool chick. She is a CEO of her company. She truly knows what she talks about. You guys are exploring the TED.com website. If you haven't checked her out yet, she's got an amazing one. Hers is called The Secret Structure of Great Talks. That's the one I like the best, because she talks about how ideas that you have, they're most effectively conveyed through the use of story. And she gives this great example. But if you think about illiterate generations, and illiterate means if you don't know how to read. And so thousands and thousands of years of these illiterate generations, they pass their values and their cultures on from generation to generation, and they pretty much stayed intact. Because what she's saying is that the way a story is structured, that when it's assembled, it can be recalled by the person that's receiving this. And this is really proven in movies. Like if you think about your favorite movie, I can tell you, yes, I have seen it a few times, but there's structure to it. And why not use that same memorable structure that people are familiar with to apply to yourself? We're also going to be learning from a really cool guy named Simon Sinek. We're going to be talking about him next week. So it's just a really cool book. There's a couple of ways that you guys can access this book. Safari is the book holder for Full Sail, and you have lots of books in there. If when you open it, it happens to see, it's got like a lot of highlights in there, those are not from me. I didn't do that. Those are probably from previous students. So if that bothers you, you can turn those off. Just want to make sure you guys know that. So that's one way that you can you can read the Resonate book. Now, there's another version of it, and it is it's at this website. It's more of a multimedia one. Yeah, Guillermo. Oh, I've messed it up. Guillermo. All right, I'm gonna have to work on that. So anyway, yeah, you can turn those highlights off, and it might be a little less distracting to read. But I think I mentioned it earlier. I'm a very visual learner, and Nancy's got this other version of this, the same book. It's the same information, but it's got a little more activity in it. It's got these pages that turn. It's got videos that are embedded into it, and you can reach that for free also at resonate.duarte.com. And you guys are more than welcome to check that out. It may ask you to fill out a little form, but there's no charge to use it. You know, you're a Full Sail student. You can just put that in there. So no problem with that. The second book that we're going to be getting into next week, it's called Slideology. And now, I have a PDF version of that you can actually download to your, so you don't have to read it online, especially if you're, challenged with the amount of data that you have. You guys want to be careful if you're using phones. You can use up your data really quickly. So try to do your schoolwork when you're on Wi-Fi. But I do have this particular PDF version. If you want that, you have to send me a message and ask for it. But we'll be getting into that next week. But check this one out if you haven't yet. It's really cool. The only thing that you can't do in those is highlight. And I know Christian was saying that was really cool, helpful to be able to highlight. Jasmine, you'll need to send me a message on our course area. So not a message in here, but definitely a message on a course area. So just a kind of little formality on that part. All right, so we talked about activity blocks that you guys have. The first two, and I'm going to just go past this real quick, is our week one. You guys, there's actually two blocks that you guys have. This is the second block. It says, welcome to create a presentation. These are the things that are going to have the graded activities in here. So if you haven't done that yet, if you haven't gotten into that area, make sure that you do that. Even though it says that that everything's due on January 9th, which is next Tuesday, it's actually, there are two due dates for this particular assignment. And the unfortunately, our FSO platform right now, they're working on it, but right now it has no way to show two due dates. So if you go into this assignment, you'll see that it's a two-part assignment. We ask you to do your first post, and then you also have reply post, because the discussion boards wouldn't work if everybody was doing it on the same day. So your first post needs to be done by Friday night, and then your follow-up ones are the ones that are going to be due on Sunday night. So we're going to examine each of these activities closely. I really encourage you to do this at the beginning of the week when the assignments open up, okay? Excuse me. So you'll have downloads. You'll have an area where you'll either turn it in or you'll either do a post in the completion area. And then at the bottom part, it says feedback, and that's only your instructor is going to see that for me. So make sure that you're seeing these three areas. So the first assignment we did, the 1.1, that's what you're doing in here now. If you haven't gone back and clicked the button, just go back and click the button. The 1.2, this is the reading assignments. We're only asking you to read 5 chapters. If you want to read more, that is up to you. We will get to the whole book, but for you to be able to really do your activities this week and be able to reference the activities, we definitely want you to do 1, 2, 3, and 4, and then make sure that you get to 7. So if you have to come back and do the other ones later, that's fine. But definitely get these 5 chapters read. And once you do that on the honor system, just go ahead and click that mark as completed button. Okay, so that is the 1.1 and 1.2. So here we go. We have our first discussion board. Your first post is due by, can anybody tell me? I've said it a couple times. First post is due by?
The 5th.
The 5th, which is Friday. Yes, absolutely.
No.
First post by Friday night.
Couldn't get to my mic in time.
That's okay. No worries. And then your 2 reply posts are due by
Next Tuesday.
next Tuesday night. Now, it's Wednesdays and Sundays. So it's just always pay attention to the discussion boards because they're going to be changing around on you. Always find out when that first post is due by and then when your reply posts are. And it can change from class to class. It's just something you got to be responsible for. All right, so let's check out the downloads. The first assignment is your discussion board. It has 3 pages in it. Make sure that you get to all 3 pages. Oh, I'm sorry. This one only has 2 pages. My error. 2 pages. Make sure you get to the second page. So let's talk about what goes in your first post, the one that's due by Tuesday night. I want you to definitely answer this first one that is in the yellow box. I want you to get descriptive here. Channel your inner creative writer, right? We're all going to pretend we're going to channel Margaret's writing spirit, and we are going to use descriptive words. We're going to talk about, if we have fears, I'm going to throw up, and it's going to be green, and it's going to be terrible. And I want you to really take us there with you, make us experience with you. So tell me, why do you think, you don't just say, oh, I'm not very, I don't get very nervous and keep moving on. That's not a lot of details. Why do you think that you're not nervous? Or if you are fearful, why do you think you are? Remember, we are trying to establish this baseline of where we are and where we're going forward, okay? So definitely answer that yellow one. Then I want you to choose at least one of these. It's okay if you answer both, but at least one of these. Think back. This could be last week. This could be in the 5th grade. This could be in high school. This could be at the Boy Scout Club. I don't care where it is. But where was a time that either you were up in front of people, doesn't matter how many people, and tell me what you learned from it. I want to know about it. What did you present? What was your biggest challenge? Like if you did something you created a visual presentation, maybe that was harder than you thought. What did you learn from it? What was, and when we say discuss, we're also saying, come on, give us some examples. Take us with you. Let us know. I want to hear about it. So choose at least one of those. And then be sure to also share. This is very important. Most people miss this part. This is where, even if you do it, you can do it in a second paragraph at the bottom, or you can end it however you want to do it. What do you want to learn from this class based on what you know so far? You don't know very much. You just really kind of know the first title. You've had your first class here with me tonight, and you've done a little bit of reading. What do you think that you want to learn from this class? And then tell me one thing in particular you think that you need to improve upon in your presentation skills. So please don't miss that. Make sure that's very obvious that I can see that. And this needs to all be in your first post. If you have already made your first post and you did not include these things, please go back to your post and edit it. You go to the discussion board, go to the activity, scroll down. There's a little line that says go to discussion. Click on the discussion on that. That'll take you to the next page where everybody's posts are, and find your post. And then on the bottom left-hand corner of your post, there'll be a little orange word called edit. Just click on edit and you can change it. If you think that you misspelled every other word, go back and change it. But you can definitely add to this, okay? It's also a great time to see if anybody's replied to you. You can definitely go back and edit your first post if you do not feel that you have met the requirements that we just talked about, or you think maybe you want to proofread.
Blah, 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 blah.
Okay? So that is in your first post. Let's talk about what has to be in your second post. These are 2 reply posts. Now, let me be very clear. They are 2 reply posts to 2 of your classmates about their histories. So if you go back to yours and you see someone has replied to you, I want you to reply to them, but that one doesn't count as the graded one. I want these conversations to keep going, but I need you to go back and talk about theirs, because what you're going to be doing is you're going to be comparing and contrasting their experiences to yours. And I want you to use the RISE model to do it. I've already kind of peeked on the boards a little bit, and there's a lot of people that have very brief reply posts, and it's not what I'm looking for. I want you to go back and do some more. We're giving you this download. It's called the RISE model. It helps you If you struggle with what you're going to say to somebody else, then this is going to help you. So if you start at the bottom and you use reflect, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to reference specific parts of the person's post, and you're going to relate it to something that you have related to. So it's very obvious. Let's say that Margaret is going to reply to Skylar, and Margaret's going to pull something out of Skylar's writing that you can that Skylar's going to know that you took the time. You just didn't skim it, pick a thing, and boom, you went going, that you really took time to absorb it and read it, and you reflected back on it, and you're comparing it to something in either your history or something that you know about. Then you're going to ask a question and ask thought-provoking questions that might lead to new perceptions, or it's going to also try to keep the conversation going. That is facilitating new conversation. We talked about that on the rubric earlier. So ask questions, inquire. Then you're going to try to suggest something that will help elevate the other person. So the suggest and elevate can kind of be mixed together. If you give someone a suggestion on how they can improve upon the issue that they have, you may not think, well, I don't have anything to suggest them. I'm not a big speaker. I don't know anything. Well, then you need to spend a little time doing some research. Go out there and Google it. How do I solve sweaty palms? Hey, look at this article I found about solving sweaty palms. So it shows that you're trying to help the other person, and in turn, it might help you as well. So I'm really looking for interaction on this discussion board. So please, if you have not done this, please use the RISE model. Okay, guys? So that's the RISE model. This one has a rubric file. It's also located on the page. You want to make sure that you're contributing to the learning community. You want to have detailed explanations. If you look at rationale there, look at the difference between exemplary and accomplished. The word is detailed and basic. So go back and read your post. Was I detailed or was I just kind of basic? Did I just kind of babble and just talk about, oh, I know that guy too, or were you really trying to show us that we're talking about what's going on in this class? The first one, the relevance one, that's making sure that you answered all of the provided questions that are discussed, that sort of thing. And then there is a little bit about your punctuation, capitalization in there. So you can kind of look at your own work and see where you think you're going to fall. I mean, this isn't, I'm not surprising you with any of this. So some tips for you guys: make sure you get your first deadline in. There could be a penalty delay if you don't get it in by the first deadline. It's still important to do it. So don't just think because you missed it, you still want to earn points for that. Make sure that you make those reply posts. Set an alarm on your phone. They're worth 30 points of the whole grade. And if you miss them, which a lot of people do, they just forget, they don't come back. Make sure that you get that done. All right. So do we have any questions about this discussion board before we go on to the main assignment this week? Everybody okay?
So the presentation history and the okay, I got it now.
That's the 1.3 assignment. Yep. Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah, I'm also going to let you guys kind of know too that these sessions really only go about an hour because we just kind of talk about the assignments and the topic of the week. But because I had all that housekeeping stuff I had to do, but we're almost done. So I know I'm holding you guys kind of late, but I'm trying to want to make sure everybody's comfortable. All right, so here we are. We are ready for the big one. Yes. Can make sure I get a yes or something from everybody. I know you're still awake out there.
Yep, still awake.
Everybody's
the
here?
feedback is a
Right, cool.
part of it, right? Wait.
All right, cool. All right, the big one. This one is worth. Yes. All right, cool. I don't know who that was, but I'm very glad for the excitement. Yes. All right. So here we go. This one is worth 15% of your overall grade. So please do this one well. You guys, you can do it. You can do it. I know you can. So this will also kind of get you, in the habit of reading instructions. This one is the one that has 3 pages on it. Okay, Arik, I'm going to have to mute you so I can get a little quieter. Okay, there we go. So instruction files. Okay. So, TED.com. Has everybody found the TED.com website? Yes or no?
Oh, yeah. Lots of times.
All right, cool.
No.
No, not yet. Okay, so all you have to do is TED.com. It's a really cool website. Anytime you need some inspiration or you want to learn something, it's pretty cool website to go. It's TED.com. It's free to use. You can pick any 3 TED Talks that you want. They can be related to your degree program, or they can be about giraffes. I don't care. Because the presentations that are on here, I've even had students that are like, because if you look at these questions that are on the screen right now, we're asking you to answer these questions for each of the 3 TED Talks that you're watching. And so I've even had students be like, I actually picked something that I did not think that I was going to be interested in, just to see if the presenter was good enough to get me excited about it. Because what we're doing is we're learning from really good presenters, because to be on TED.com, or there's even a kind of a lighter version of TED, you have to be vetted. You have to go through all of these approval processes. I mean, you have to be a pretty good speaker to perform. Now, whether you actually perform well during that time is yet to be determined, because I've seen some of these speakers that aren't as good as some are really good. And so what we're doing is, it's like we're trying to learn from others. So I'm not looking for a book report here. I'm looking for an analysis of a speaker's performance. So it really doesn't matter what they're talking about. It's how they kept your interest. How did they connect with you? How did they draw you in? If you look at just the first 15 seconds, did they get your attention, or did you keep moving? So these are the questions that I want you to answer, and we're gonna make a report. We're gonna do a little bit of writing here, I'm afraid, but we are, and we're gonna answer these questions. So make sure that you have these in mind. You might want to take some notes while you're watching them, or go answer these questions right after you watch it, so it's very fresh in your mind. So how are we going to do it? This is a 3-step process. The first step is to choose your 3 videos. The second step is to actually create a document. Now, you can create any kind of document you want. Most students use Microsoft Word, but you are not limited to that. You can use PowerPoint if you want. I find that something that is more of a Word text document that corrects your spelling and your writing is better to do that. I've even had people use Adobe Spark. So it is totally up to you what you want to use. You can use something that you're familiar with if you like. But what we're doing is we want you to write out a short analysis answering the questions in the step 1. You have to answer all of the questions. You can do that in any format you want. I have some students that will copy in the questions and then answer the questions. I have some people that just start doing an analysis and they just start talking about it. They get so excited, they just want to keep typing about it. So that is fine too. The style you use is fine. Remember, I do not require AP style in here, but I do want some references to what we're reading about. So find something and resonate the book, the chapters that you're reading, and reference them in your writing, so I know that you did your reading. Just make at least one of those in your report somewhere and make it obvious, and that'll help you for your relevance, okay? But don't forget that. Now, you need to do 3 separate analysis, okay? I need to know what the TED Talk was. A lot of students will actually give me the link to it, because I think that's cool, because I've found so many cool TED Talks because you guys have found them. So if I want to go watch it, I'll go watch it. So I'd love to see that. I want you to also use visual elements. Now, one of the things that we're going to be doing in this class is also learning how to connect with our audience emotionally through visuals. And this is a great time to start practicing that. So I'm going to show you guys some examples of previous students. And so what we want to do is, even though our analysis is going to be about the speaker's performance, I'd really like you guys to push yourselves and do more than just a picture of the speaker's head. We can dive into what their content was and see if we can get our readers' attention and make them want to read our report just by the pictures that we see. And I'm going to show you an example of that in just a second. So it does have to have visual elements. It's a document. there's no limit to how many pages or how many slides it has to be, because you may write more than that. You may write less than that. So it just has to have 3 separate analysis, one for each of the TED Talk. And then if you see there in step 3, there's going to be a separate top 10 list. And top 10 list is where we're going to kind of take everything that we've done above. We're going to go back up and we're going to look through what we've already written in our analysis, and we're going to pull out 10 items, 10 techniques, 10, things that they've used that are effective for a presenter to use. And we're going to use specific examples from the presentation, and we're going to explain why these elements contributed to the powerful example presentation. And that's going to be in the top 10 list at the bottom. I'm going to show you examples here in just a second. So I think what I'll go ahead and do is I'm going to go ahead and freeze the screen for you guys. So hang on just a second. Let me pull those out. So don't worry, I'm still here. Excuse me. Oh, that's terrible. All right. I am so sorry about my cold. All right. Let's see. I got to get to my examples. 2 seconds. All right. So, let's pull this down, make it a little smaller. Okay. So here is an example. Let's pull my screen up. All right. All right. So here is an example that someone did a report, and they just had their, they just had their name. They just kind of had a little introduction on there talking about it. Now their spacing kind of jumped around, but this was they used, the TED Talk was want kids to learn, feed them well. And they had a picture here that would kind of makes you think of a lunch tray, right? So I'm kind of curious about that. So that image made me want to look and start reading. So then they had, he started talking about he talked about the speaker's performance. Okay. And then he answered all the questions. Here's another one that he did. Schools kill creativity. I thought this was an excellent picture because, I mean, look at that picture. There's nothing on the walls. All the desks are the same. It really grabbed my attention and made me want to read the assignment. Okay. And then they did another one, and this one was, he had watched the Simon Sinek one, and he had something about innovation here. And so that's the third one. And then he went on down, and he had his top 10 list. And he did it just as a bullet point. And so, for example, this is where he was saying, okay, so one of them, Sam Cass, started with his background in food and education, which allowed me to look at him as a mentor on the subject at hand. So what he did is he told me who did it, who was the speaker, what that he did. He started with his background. He made me feel that he was a qualified candidate, a qualified person to be talking about this. So this was the effect that it had on the audience. Okay, here was a different one. This was a different speaker that he had. He had it with jokes and laughter, which kept the energy in the room upbeat. So it told me who did it, what they did in particularly, and what effect it had on the audience. And I need to have that for each of the top 10 lists. Okay, so that's just one example. Let's take another example. Now, there's a question that's come up here, and it says, can we do this in Word, or do we have to do a PowerPoint? All of these that I'm showing you were done in Microsoft Word. It is totally up to you what you want to use. I personally, if I was doing it, I would do it in something that is a Word type document, because see how much you can write? Then you're going to be able to explain yourself. Now in this one, they actually did use a little bit more formal pulling out, but see how he says Resonate 2010 page 64. He's telling me something that this particular person used in their presentation that reflects back to what we are learning this month. So if you look in the rubric file for this one, that is a particular thing. If you look in relevance, it says assignment content is directly related to course materials. Here, it's not explicitly stated or implied, so I have to have a reference to something that you're reading. This prevents you from having the test. Remember how happy we were about the tests? About not having any tests. So these are the different dimensions that you guys will be graded on this one, and these are all located in the assignment file. All right, so that is going to be it for the live session tonight. I have just gone over all the assignments. Do I have any questions about either of the assignments? Go. Woo! Woo! All right, I have one in the chat box, so let me answer that one first. The question is, what file formats are allowed? Would a PDF be acceptable? I think a PDF would be excellent in this case, because if you are going to use any kind of creative fonts in your document, if I don't have those fonts, let's say you send me a PowerPoint and use a font that I don't have, it's not going to lay out right. So PDF files are cool because they show you exactly the way. That probably would have helped this guy that had the funky spacing if he'd have done a PDF. But when I opened it, it had this thing. Okay, good, Christian. Very good. So Christian says he has a better understanding after seeing the examples. I hope so. I hope that helps. So really, you're really just trying to analyze these speakers. We've provided you the questions to do that. And all you have to do is answer the questions. Look out in, now, I will send a message out tonight, I'm writing myself now, where you can find images, because this is what I want you to do. This is, you guys are practicing. I'm going to, hang on just a second. So let me get out of this. Let's get out of this. All right, so one of my favorite websites to go to, give me just seconds because I got a lot of stuff up here. So when I go to find images, let's turn my thing back on. All right, my screen should be back on. All right, so I love this one. It's called Pexels. I think that's how you say it. It's like pixels, but with a E, right? And it has already like filtered all this stuff out for you. So it's free stock photos. So let's say that I'm trying to find something, you know, I said I like giraffes. So let's say, oh my gosh, look at that sweet little giraffe. So this would be a great picture to use if maybe they were talking about giraffes. And look, it says, hey, there's no attribution that's required. It's came from a website called Pixabay. So that'd be, oh, that's a cool one too. Look at those little things. All right, so anyway,
these pictures are nice.
Aren't they really nice? And they're high resolution. So when you pull them, you know, if you just go, like if you just use Google Images, right? And you just go here and you go giraffe, there's a couple problems with that. For like that one, I don't know, he's pretty big, but he might be kind of small, you know? And so it's like, I don't know. That might be kind of small. And if you pull that and you blow it up, it's going to be all pixelated. Plus, look, it may be subject to copyright. So we want to get in the habit of at least, if you're going to get images from Google, at least cite where your images are. So that I see that's coming up. So great. That's a great question that just came up. If you're using images that, it's a good idea to let me know where you got your images from. Even if you got them from somewhere like Pixels that you don't have to attribute them, let me know that. Just say all images from Pexels or all images from Pixabay. But if you'll show us, like you can actually show us the like this is the actual URL. You could take that URL and you could put it in your credit list, like at the end. Like think about like at the end of the last sheet could be a credit sheet, because if you're going to use this image right here, you can't just say, I got my images from Google. That's like saying, you know, when someone asks you your address and you say, I live on Earth. That's not acceptable, right? You know, it's like, well, how the hell am I going to find that, right? So you're going to do, you would do copy the link location. If you're going to use this one, this is the one that you downloaded. then you would need to put this entire link here. See how big that thing is? And that's going to show me where that image lives. And it's going to be on the page here. So I need to know, well, that kind of formed me. That's what's weird. It's open link in new window. I'm sorry, that's what I should do. Oh, look at push it. Usually it'll give me the link to it. So anyway, you can't even like really find, what is this? Find animals. I don't know. I should probably get off of this page. That does not seem school appropriate. Anyway. Oh my goodness. All right, guys. So with that, I'm going to go ahead and bid goodnight to everyone that's watching the recording. Thank you for watching. I hope you join us live next week. If you have any questions, please put them in the area below. Look forward to seeing you in the future.